How are we supposed to live like this?
Surface
I have
soap,
buyers waiting.
half price.
You have some kind of problem? Oh? What was this about? Oh, I see. Tauren must have sent you. I refuse to answer to a pawn of Tauren. Come, men, to arms! I think we work well together. What business would the mighty Grey Wardens have? Oh? What was this about? I worried this might happen. I hoped it wouldn't be you who came for me. I have no choice. Forgive me, Warden, but I cannot go back with you.
I shall do it.
We work well together.
Perhaps there'll be better trading in Redcliffe.
They think they're isolated now? Merchants won't risk this happening again.
I've told you what I know. If you'll excuse me, I've had quite enough stress over this. Oh, certainly.
You must know that murder is wrong, I assume.
I'm sorry, are you speaking to me?
That is why you wish to leave your crows. A crisis of conscience.
Yes, that is exactly it.
Joke if you wish, but I have the feeling that deep down you regret the life you have lived.
It's true. I regret it all.
Must you be such a child? Are you incapable of a single serious conversation?
I know. I'm terrible and it makes me sad. May I rest my head in your bosom? I wish to cry.
You can cry well away from my bosom, I'm certain.
Did I tell you I was an orphan? I never knew my mother.
Egad, I give up.
Bloody dwarves will argue themselves into poverty if they aren't
What can I do for you? This ought to be interesting. Such diction. This man is a true scholar and rhetorician. I am honored to be fired by one such as he. Good day.
Oh, you wish to talk to me? Truly, it's a courtesy for one so well-armed to notice a lowly merchant. Someone has to. Trade with other races can dry up. We surfacers are Orzamar's lifeline. Even if we're denied a caste, the Assembly says we've turned our back on the stone, but they still use the goods we bring. Hypocrites. Maybe it'll change by the time my children are grown. Twice a year, I'm confined to a trade stall in the Commons, but I see enough. It's very closed in. My grandfather says I've lost my stone sense. I was born topside. I don't remember having it. Best of luck to you.
The Assembly is deadlocked.
My goods are just
No one
rotting on their
knows when they'll
doorstep.
reopen the
I won't
city.
just stand here and take this.
King Loghain will not suffer the delay.
Vieta! This land is held in trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
None more important than mine.
Your business will wait. Orzammar must limit outside influence until the throne is settled. No one gets in.
Who doesn't? If I don't get in, no one should.
Orzammar has no king. Endrin Idukan returned to the stone not 3 weeks ago, sick over the loss of his sons. The Assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
Wait, who are you to speak for Ferelden? You're no messenger to Loghain, that's for certain.
Thank the ancestors.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
You're letting in a traitor? And a foreigner? In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden. What? Lies and slander! King Loghain will not suffer this. I will not suffer it. I'm his messenger.
Kill each other as you will, but take your sodding fight off my doorstep.
Look! Enemies ahead! This was
Awesome.
As you say.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. Are all humans so touched? You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Atrost Vala, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. We prefer that outsiders not witness our infighting, but your presence will be tolerated. Fair journeys, Warden.
Those statues are dwarven paragons, if I remember right. The best of their ancestors.
If only you had come at a less troubled time. Bread? Please, sir. Just a bit of bread.
Now, may the ancestors protect Branka, wherever... Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Mother, I don't want to be like her. She...
Don't say that! Not to me, not to anyone. Now get back to the forge. I want to see more details.
Yes, Mother.
Spare a few bits for an old man.
I shall do it.
Show respect, Surfacer. You're in the Hall of Heroes, home to the best of us. Paragons, dwarves who achieve such greatness, they're considered ancestors even if they yet walk among us. If only we had one now. A unifier. A voice like that, there would be no dissension. Perhaps I don't want you to. A Surfacer should not see us in this kind of disarray. Goodbye, Warden. I hope you're not needed.
Atrost Vala, Warden.
You know, Alistair, Antiva has a long tradition of royal bastards.
You don't say.
Oh, yes. They've led wars to claim the throne. Some of them have become kings. In fact, I'd say the current royal line in Antiva stems from bastard blood several times over.
Well, aren't you just chock full of useless trivia today?
Sadly, whenever a royal bastard rears their head in public and declares themselves, it often goes poorly for them.
Let me guess. They get assassinated.
Only the very popular ones.
And the unpopular ones?
Well, they get by somehow, I'm sure. There was one fellow who did quite well working as a prostitute based on his uncanny resemblance to the king. Charged a fortune.
Couldn't afford him, I take it.
That cynicism will serve you well, my friend. Hold on to it.
As you say.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Do not speak that way about the man who should be king! Won't have fights, especially in front of outsiders. Some fool, I'll have him in the Legion.
Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. See, that's why I don't want you Surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Balin and Harrowmont in there. Sort this all out in a hurry. Personal battles for honor and ancestor. I don't expect a Surfacer to understand. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate. The true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. Surfacers appoint no paragons? Truly, you're lost in all that sky. They are the best of us, declared living ancestors. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. Yes, you should.
For a tiny people, they certainly build high ceilings. Have you changed your mind yet? Are you willing to speak seriously?
Of your bosom? As you wish.
No, I do not wish to speak of my bosom.
But it is a marvelous bosom. I have seen women half your age who have not held up half so well. Perhaps it is a magical bosom?
Stop talking about my bosom.
But I thought you wished to speak seriously.
I do. I thought, however foolishly, that you might be willing to speak of your past.
We could do that. There have been many bosoms in my past, though only few as fine as yours.
Enough. I'm ending this conversation.
You have not asked me about my conscience for some time, my darling Wynne.
That is correct. And I am not your darling.
So once again I am rejected. Just as I am by the cruel, cruel fates. They are harsh mistresses to the elves.
Zevran, I am old enough to be your grandmother.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
And what would you do with me if you had me, hmm? This is a game you play, nothing more.
Ah, you are a cynical woman, Wynne. Cynical and powerful. It drives me mad with desire.
I am going to walk away now.
I shall do it.
Do you think the tower is ever going to get back to what it was, Wynne?
I don't know. A great number of people died. It will be difficult to imagine rebuilding. That cloud hanging over everything for many years to come.
Do you think you'll be there? To help rebuild, I mean, once this is all over with.
I cannot say. Even if I survive this blight, I am a very old woman, Alistair.
Why? Because of some grey hair? You are a formidable woman, Wynne. You could see that it happens.
I think you overestimate the number of years I have left. But perhaps you were right. Or perhaps the memories of what happened there will be too strong for me to face.
I have a hard time believing that.
Well, it's good to have someone that believes in me, so... Now, if I could only feel the same way myself, that would be something.
Very well.
You know, Wynne, I have a friend back in Antiva who would be very excited to meet you.
I'm sorry?
Salvail prefers women with experience and maturity. He says they have more substance, are more robust and flavorful.
Does he now?
Indeed. No need to deny it. Zevran knows a fine bird when he sees one.
I am not a bird.
There is no reason to deny yourself the pleasure of male companionship, after all, yes? You might balk now, but I assure you, Salvail is a gentleman of means and quite handsome.
I am going to walk away now, calmly, coolly. This is to save you the pain of having your brain forcibly removed through your ears.
This must be a Ferelden thing, I swear.
Welcome to Jan-Ar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail? At Jan-Ar's, we have everything from leather to platinum. Of course, keep in mind we also take items on trade. Atrast Vala, stranger. Here for armor or conversation? I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object. I, for 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fall and tacit, which were integrated into the cuirass. But, I'm guessing by your face you're not a smith yourself. Of course.
It shall be done.
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is lost in darkness. Mothers, keep him safe, for you know what it is to mourn. I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. Stone, guide your steps. Did you wish to make an offering after all? My son Ruck is missing in the deep roads. You seemed sympathetic. It would mean a lot to me to have him back safely, or even to recover his body for a proper funeral. Stone, guide your steps.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine. The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change. Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be. Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against dark spawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to you. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Maker's blessing on you, sister. Ah, it's a great pleasure to meet a fellow believer. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. There is resistance. It's obvious the world wasn't created by the mortal souls who dwelt within it. Yet the dwarves of Orzammar persist in worshipping their own forefathers. You speak as if these people have deliberately chosen to reject the Maker, but most of them haven't even heard his name. How can they choose the path of enlightenment if they never learn that the path exists? Andraste revealed the truth. The Maker took her up to live at his right hand and... No, never mind. It's clear you strayed too far to be brought back with a single conversation.
What is that smell? Dwarven vomit. Charming.
It would mean a lot to me to have him back safely. Or even to recover. How? There is no way except to brave the deep roads yourself. You're asking what I would pay for your services? I have little money since my husband died. But wait, I saved his shield, the masterpiece my husband smithed. I was saving it for Ruck's return. If someone were to find my son or his body, they can have the shield with my blessing. How? There is no way except to break a warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the deep roads without a company packing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good Widow Filda. We'll do our best.
Don't get your hopes up. We could search the deep roads for decades with no sight of the boy.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
So, let me ask you. I'm wondering about... I'm just curious. Maybe it's inappropriate of me. So, now that I've got that off my chest... That... So, let me ask... I'm wondering about... No, I'm just curious. Maybe it's inappropriate of me to ask, but... So, now that I've got that off my... That... Well, I'll have... What about Zevran? I don't like the idea of leading him on. You know what I mean. Either you're with him, or... Thank you.
I take it you have found another more compatible with your tastes? No, there is no need to deny it. I do not mind. Such is how it goes, yes? No, I suppose that is true. There is nothing I can offer a woman such as yourself for very long. I quite agree. So I am forced to ask, if we are not to be lovers, are we at least to be friends? Good. Nothing would please me more. Some friendships are worth pursuing. What say you? Not everyone, but a beautiful woman like yourself. Why not? I'm sure you draw many stares from men and even other women. Does this bother you? Then I shall keep that in mind. And perhaps even redouble my efforts. There was a young elven dancer in Antiva City once, and I believe I actually managed to stare off all 7 of her skirts. It's a trick worth retrying. Now that that is out of the way, perhaps we should move on. With you in front, of course. What is your desire? Again? I'm game.
Your desire is my command. Well, we're not exactly alone. What did you have in mind? Oh, but what about our audience? You don't think...
Just treat me as if I'm not here. I don't mind.
No. Let's not. I tried Dwarven Ale once. I thought it was just something they tricked surfacers into drinking, as a joke.
Grey Warden or no, keep your nose up, boys, about business.
Afternoon, stranger. You looking for a stool to share a brew? I recommend the Lycan Ale. They brew it downstairs. Name's Naveen. I fight with Prince Balin's Expeditionary Field Unit. Yourself? Figured as much. Good folks, Wardens. I was in the deep roads when that one came by. What was his name? Dukan, Dunka... something like that. I met him, sure. Good man. Solid. He knows what we go through in the deep roads. Not many do. Not even the ones who live this close. You have to be on the front lines. I go where I'm sent, fight when I'm there, and leave politics where it belongs. Darkspawn. Not much use in turning our weapons elsewhere while those vermin still live. Every Grey Warden ends up there. That's where they send you when you're ready to leave this world. Go die in the dark, putting away as many vermin as you can. Getting more crowded these days, though. Lots of people interested all of a sudden. We go back tomorrow, and we're not the only ones. Balin ordered us in at first bell. He's splitting us into 4 teams to search for some of the lost tigers. Looking for signs of Bronca, I guess. Seems to be who everyone's after. Lord Harrowmont's got his own men there, all looking for signs of Bronca. Guess the city's getting to miss having a paragon. Everyone wants someone to put in charge. Bronca was a paragon, some kind of great smith or whatnot. But she went batty and let her whole house into the deep roads more than 2 years ago. No chance she could have survived. And a lot of good men are gonna die looking for her corpse. Excuse me. This brew is starting to taste awful bitter.
Atrust Vala, stranger. You must be the Grey Warden we heard about. Welcome to Tapsters. I'm Cora, your hostess. How may I serve you? With 52 types of ale, 17 types of mead, and a dozen imported wines, we should be able to serve your needs. What do you have? I have an award-winning honey mead. Surface Family ships it down here every month. Only 1.5 silvers a mug. 1 honey mead coming right up. A few months ago, you might have seen the prince here. But now he never leaves his estate. Well, I have other customers to see too. If you need anything else, just call me over.
I'm afraid to walk the commons alone at night.
Darkspawn attacks have been really light this year.
Told him I don't understand.
I'm coming! I'm coming! Hold on!
I mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need our help to decide who's worthy? And then he practically slapped me. Lord Dennick Helmy, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns. You understand what I'm saying, right? On the surface, there are no castes, and it works fine. Am I right, Warden? But there are those like you who see this with concern, no? Well, I've taken the time to actually talk to the other castes. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent deshers if we gave them a chance and a seat in the assembly. Orzammar are so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary. Me and 79 other fine, upstanding examples of how someone who's born into every privilege inevitably wants more. They're not fond of my views on equality. I doubt either candidate has been outside the Diamond Quarter in his life. But Lord Harrowmont seems a bit more forgiving. Prince Balin's brilliant, I'll give him that, and subtle as sin. But I don't think anything in Orzammar matters more to him than winning. Badly. Oh, you're serious? Well, it's simple, I guess. The king and elected deshers of the assembly are at the top. Then it's the nobles. Then the warriors and all the craftsmen. At the bottom are servants. The casteless and criminals are below even that. Your caste is determined by that of your same-sex parent. And that's where you stay your whole life, whatever your skill. As you wish.
They're everywhere! Get away. You'll change like the rest. Monsters hidden in all my friends. There's things older than Darkspawn. And once you're in the story, they find you. See? I found copies. All from the same pen, and older than the ones in song. Dormant my ass. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
What is your desire? Very well, but I consider this pillow talk.
I shall do it.
So, are you a very religious man, Mister? I'm curious. I believe I heard you say you were raised in an abbey.
I was raised in a castle. I was schooled in the abbey. As far as being religious, I don't know. Not especially. What about you? Not in your line of work, I expect.
Oh, why do you say that? I happen to be quite devoted in my way, as most Antivans are.
Truly? But you kill people. For money.
And I ask forgiveness for my sins from the Maker every chance I get. What manner of monster do you think I am?
But you ask forgiveness and then you go right on with your sinning.
The Maker has never objected. Why should you?
I have no idea.
Well, there you go. Perhaps you ought to think about asking for a little forgiveness yourself, huh?
I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter. No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Gotta boil them before roasting, but otherwise no, safe as sand. Some people swear they make good pets. May as well leash a turnip, I say. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? You look like you're not from around here. A thousand pardons for soiling your path with my presence. Do you have any more time now? I know you're busy, but it will just take a moment. I'm Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smith caste. I tried to talk to you earlier, but if I can just have a second. I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? Oh, my lady, it's an honor. I've never met an actual mage. Is it true you can manipulate nature's forces with your mind? Like you were born with lyrium in your veins?
Don't let the glamour fool you, child. Wielding magic is a dangerous occupation, and a great responsibility.
Of course not. Haven't you read First Enchanter Cathalin's treatise concerning dwarfs and the non-heritability of magic? He tested dwarfs from 20 bloodlines and found they couldn't perform any level of spell casting, regardless of lyrium exposure or time on the surface. The Circle speculates that lyrium in the stone shields us from spiritual influences, and over time made us immune to them. I want to go to the Circle to study. I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. Then I'll wait for the next caravan. I'm not giving up. Someday they will take me. I refuse to accept anything less.
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. Now I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter. No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
Excuse me. Have a moment? You look like you're not from around here. Oh, I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? Oh, my lady.
Don't let the glamour fool you.
1,000... Do you have any more time now? 1,000... excuse me, do you have... You look like you're not from... I don't suppose you've heard of some...
Don't let the glamour fool you, child.
I want to know if they would accept me for study. No, the Circle speculates that lyrium and the... And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smith Cast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperium's Verticum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child? Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Your desire is my command. Of course.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Right. Yeah, I have some lovely things here. Lyrium enhanced, of course.
Very well.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a...
Questions arise regarding Lord Balin's impending marriage to a casteless commoner. Favoritism to the casteless...
It is begun.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
News of the hour, Lord Harriman. Entrenched in the past. How long can he
This
ignore
is the
that
royal
Orzammar
palace,
must
then.
change to survive?
What treasures could lie within?
It is begun.